Hacker News. British engineers develop process to turn moon dust into oxygen. What? Give me a break. Really? I mean, honestly, I've also too worked on some of these techniques to just for I have a CO2 sequestration machine, but that's wow. Woo! If you're interested in my CO2 sequestration machine, I am looking for an investor. It's very cool. It's a biomimicked ice lung, breathes in the CO2, similar to the process of breathing, and then I'm extracting it using a water heater. It's like might be the world's most efficient water heater. Actually, it's very good. Okay, so it's not going to work in freezing climates, but non-freezing climates, it's really nice, actually. And you could actually use it underground. I don't know how to do every last little thing about it. I know I can tap geothermal energy through putting frozen ice water in the ground. So I am looking for an investor I could blow up with this. Sorry, tangent alert. Washington, U.S., November 27th, paren ANI, close paren, colon. British engineers are fine-tuning a process that will be used to extract oxygen from lunar dust, leaving behind metal powders that could be 3D printed into construction materials for a moon base. What? That's killer. Could be an early step to establishing an extraterrestrial oxygen extraction plant. It would help to enable exploration and sustain life on the moon while avoiding the enormous costs of sending materials from Earth. That'd be, I mean, that's like that's the win-win. That's like you can't get any better than that. You're like, oh, we got oxygen and we got metals to 3D print the thing with. Like, what? 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 The oxygen generated would mostly be used to make rocket fuel, but it could also provide air for lunar settlers. The project is part of ESA's preparations to establish a permanent and sustainable lunar presence. Astronauts will live and work on the moon, where they will help to develop and test technologies needed for missions further into deep space. Wow, can we make it to Titan? Man. Well, what is it? Is it no, Titan's the one in Jupiter. What's the one that's sorry, Titan's Titan's in Jupiter, right? Right? Is that the one where they got the water, the ocean? Can somebody put in the comments what was the planet that has, or the moon surrounding one of the planets in our solar system that has a bunch of water, has like water jets spraying out? I think it's Titan. Mars has Phobos and Deimos, right? Yeah, so Titan would probably be. Yeah, I think that's the one. That's the one. I personally think we might be able to live there by what I've read, but I don't know enough about that. Why don't you tell us in the comments down below? Do you think we could live on Titan? See, because if we could, man, woo! It's not just this moon, dude. We could. Most moons are going to be somewhat similar to this. I wonder if it works on asteroids too. I personally would like to build a machine to harvest asteroids. Kind of like that. I just like the science behind it. And I have an interactive gym environment and educational kit I'm working on to build robotics using my serial Chinese room interprocess and telemetry protocol and the automaton standard code for information interchange contiguous data structure. They allow me to do some cool asynchronous stuff for machine learning, as well as some very interesting A-star algorithms. So, reading on the article, the project is part of, Lunar regolith, the thin layer of dust rock that blankets the moon, is not so different from the minerals found on Earth. By weight, it contains about 45% oxygen, which is bound to metals such as iron, titanium, making it unavailable. The British company Metallysis has already developed a mineral extraction process that is used by industries on Earth to produce metals for manufacturing. Earlier this year, it was demonstrated to work well with simulated lunar regolith. The electrochemical process takes place in specifically designed chamber that ones used for research are about the same size as a washing machine. Oxygens containing metal is submerged in molten salt heated at 950 degrees Celsius. A current is then passed through it, which triggers the oxygen to be extracted and migrated across a liquid salt that collects the electrode, leaving behind a mixture of metal powders. You know what? This is very similar to what I was working on. Actually, I was actually using molten salt, and I was actually trying to extract oxygen with it. I just couldn't. I don't have any funds to do it. Like I got kicked out the ivory tower by the woke anti-racist because I am not part of their white privilege power structure, and so this causes me to criticize the petty vindictive master and question the dogma of the groupthink, and then I'm out. Bro, real quick. All I gotta do is just like open up my mouth for like 30 seconds. They're like, this guy's a problem. He's got to go. You're like, what? Seriously? What a little fucking punk. You know, the moment you say anything like that to them, they turn into spineless little bitches, dude. They're like, you can't do that. This is polite society. So we're going to kick you out. Like, how polite is that? So nobody can call you a punk or a little bitch because you're a spineless, weak fucktard? Let me get this straight. You can't take any sort of insults at all? Really? Doesn't that make you a spineless coward? It does. It actually does. It means that the moment the shit hits the fan and people start getting stressed out, you're going to turn into a little bitch, huh? Definitely not going to be working for my company, that's for sure. As part of the current project, Metallicis engineers are fine-tuning the technique with its lunar application in mind. The big difference is that on Earth, the oxygen generated is not needed, but in space, it will be the most important product of the process. This means it's needed to be engineered to produce as much of the gas as possible. Now, what I was trying to do is stick the molten salt in the middle of a spaceship. And so what I was doing was absorbing the water, basically using the water absorption to push people in to do a artificial gravity. And so the way that you do this is you coat the outside of the spaceship with ice in a big ball, and then you put molten salt in the middle with non-molten salt on the outside. And what happens is the heat causes the air to rush towards the center, and it causes a little bit of force that pushes down. And it doesn't do too much to help the bone density problem, though. It was kind of like, sounded like a good idea, but then, the reality was like, okay, well, we got something in there that can cause gravity. Like, we need the salt for things. We need the ice on the outside so we can have some water. And then I have this cool, really neat. It's called a light emitting vacuumed gas drive, and it's a theoretical close to light speed engine where I thought maybe you could break the light speed, but I'm starting to think maybe, Einstein is definitely smarter than me. Yeah, in fact, actually, that's kind of true. Yeah. But see, the problem is like when you're going the speed of light, and then light moves, like how fast does that go? And there's some issues in physics that I don't think that I thought too well through. But anyways, it's really a neat spaceship idea. It's like you're like trying to smash all this junk into this pile of ice, and then you extract it through a water boiling process in order to vacuum gases out of space, because you're going so fast that the whatever particles are in the space end up going into the front of the spaceship. That is called a Kabuki Starship. If you're interested, that's what my startup is called. It's called the Kabuki Starship. But anyways, thank you for. Oh yeah, sorry. If you like this video, smash that like button. If you think that I am stupid, I don't know what I'm talking about, hit that dislike button. Tell me why I'm stupid and why you're right in the comments down below. Don't forget to share this video on social media. If you would like to see the channel grow,